Questions for Coach McMillan, please? Member Reed, please raise your hand and state your name and affiliation, please. Thank you.
Hi, Coach. Bob Schramm, the Citizen. Can't sugarcoat it. It was a tough loss. I mean, you had control, then you regained control at the end. What do you say to the group?
We got to finish. You know, we got to do a better job of finishing games and situations like that. You know, execution on both ends of the floor, getting stops defensively, you know, offensively, being clear about what you want to do and what you need to do in that situation. We all got to do a better job. I have to do a better job. We all have to do a better job.
Coach John Corrales, MassLive.com. Miles Turner kept you guys in the game through the third quarter. Can you speak to that defensive presence that he had in the middle?
Yeah, he did a good job of defending the basket. They were attacking the basket. He did a real solid job of defending the basket. When he went out the game, they were able to get back into the game, attacking the basket. So, you know, he did what he does, which is defend the paint. And, you know, he blocked shots, and that was big, you know. We had pressure on the perimeter, and, you know, those guys, Irving, it's tough to guard him out on the perimeter when you're crowding him, so he's going to get by, and Miles was there to clean up.
Adam Himmelsbach with the Boston Globe. Where, during that fourth quarter stretch, it was like 8 minutes scoring drought, where do you think things got away from you, and there were a couple shots that kind of rolled in and out? Did you feel like that kind of snowballed upon it, and where did it go wrong?
Yeah, it did. You know, we missed a couple layups, missed some open shots. We had some bad possessions, you know, during that time, and that's when we just got to be clear about what we're doing. Get the shot we want, and you got to make those. You got to make shots when you have those opportunities, and we didn't finish.
Jared Weiss from The Athletic. Your defense has always been very effective at trying to prevent penetration down the middle, but they had a lot of success working the baseline and even seeking backdoor. But what do you have to do in Game 3 to just plug those holes?
Well, it starts with trying to keep the ball in front. Anytime a defense is penetrating your paint and forcing help, forcing you to collapse, you know, you have elite playmakers with the basketball. When you're talking about Irving and Hayward, you know, running that pick and roll, those guys, they do it all. They can score. They see the floor. You know, they pass out of double teams. So they are just reading what the defense does. And if you have to send over help, then someone's going to be open, and they're making those plays.
Hi, Nate. Bill Burt, CNHI Sports Boston. Kyrie's one thing. Obviously, he had a great game, made a lot of great shots. But when they get someone else going at a high level,
that's what makes them tough, is the fact that, you know, they have a number of guys out there that can get going. You know, whether, you know, it was Morris last game. You know, Tatum, very capable. Hayward is capable. Horford is capable. All those guys are capable. And, you know, Irvin is the guy that initiates most of that. So, you know, he's a hard cover. And when he's breaking you down and you're forced to have to help, you know, he's finding guys on the perimeter, transition, and, you know, they're hurting us with threes. So it just starts with just trying to keep him in front, keep the ball in front so that you don't have to collapse or give as much help, and you can stay, you know, with the perimeter to guard the three or box out and rebound the ball. But, you know, that's hard when you're sitting out there on an island by yourself and you're trying to keep Irvin in front of you.
Final question, John.
Coach, in the John Corrales, MassLive.com, on that last, next to last play there where Gordon Hayward got open underneath, do you think the defense was too focused on the potential for a Kyrie, like going for a dagger when they lost him? What did you see defensively there on that last play?
The layup?
On the Gordon Hayward layup.
Yeah, I mean, the defender had to step up. You know, if you don't step up, then I think it's a layup. And the defender steps up and he drops it off. So, that's a tough situation to be in. You know, if you don't step up and give help, and I think the defender had to step up because of breakdown and stopping the ball. And Hayward did a good job of getting in that window, and was an easy play.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Stevens will be next. Player coming down from Indiana will be Thad Young. For Boston, scheduled Kyrie and Jason Tatum. I'm not sure of the order yet after Coach Stevens, but we'll keep you apprised. Questions for Coach Stevens, please? Start with Bill.
Bill Doyle, Worcester Telegram. Brad, just what were you thinking down 12 in the fourth quarter, and what did you think you needed to do to turn it around?
You know, just continue to play the game one possession at a time. I thought the group at the start of the fourth kick started us off well, and then when some of our starters came back in, I thought they really played well. Al played, I think, 16 straight minutes or 15 straight minutes. And I told him I'd use one of my timeouts that I didn't use, so he was probably pissed at me. But he is, I thought his play on the glass, his play protecting the rim, and then everybody else moving the ball and finding the next right shot just kind of allowed us to hit singles and get back in it.
Sharp Blakely, NBC Sports Boston. Coach, fourth quarter, Kyrie had a ton of big shots for you, but Jason Tatum also did. Speak to what just his timely shot making meant for your team in this particular game.
Well, first of all, Kyrie was incredible in coming back, and when he gets on a run like that, he's going to draw even more attention than he already draws, which is as much as anybody draws in the league. And so in the last couple minutes of the game, he just made the right play. He got off the ball, and he drew two, and other guys made plays. And it started with Jalen's kick out in transition, which was one of the best plays I've ever seen him make. I told him after the game, I'm so happy for him, just thinking about him driving left, jumping up in the air, and delivering a pass to the opposite corner is a tremendous, tremendous play. And then Kyrie got off of it a couple times because they doubled him or showed off of him, and Tatum was able to drive one time for the dunk, one time for the dump off. And I was really encouraged by the way we shared the ball and just made the right play, and then Kyrie was special.
Mark?
Coach, you rode Terry for 8+ minutes during the fourth quarter, and you look at his box score, and it wasn't like he was scoring all over the place or putting up huge numbers, but what did you see that made you ride him for that time, and how did he help to change the game?
I think that he can. I think sometimes when it's going like that, you need to be able to score, obviously, but you also need to be able to pick the ball up, make them a little bit more uncomfortable, do those types of things. And I think Terry obviously does a good job of that. And that's one of the advantages of playing a little bit lesser minutes is you got more energy to do stuff like that. And when we're at our best, he does a good job of that. And he was huge in that comeback, way more than the stats, as you said. I think I don't always think the plus minus tells us the most accurate story, but tonight I think with him, it's very accurate.
Mark James, Ness in Boston. Coach, Kyrie Irving talked about how this team's going to be better in the playoffs. Do you feel now that, with the end of the regular season into the first two games of this series, that the team is sort of peaking at the right time?
I mean, I don't know. We don't score in that last 2 minutes. It's not probably the question, right? So play the next game, one possession at a time. We've been up 2-0, heading to Washington 2 years ago, heading to Milwaukee last year, heading to Philly last year, heading to Cleveland. And in 3 of those games, we got our doors blown off in the first 6 minutes of the game. So every game's its own entity. You don't think about how good you played or how lucky you were or anything else. You try to get it done. You move on to what's next and play the next possession, and it's hard. We have to be ready for what's coming in Game 3.
Brad, Mike Petralia, CLNS Media. The defensive stops that you got at key moments that kind of led to the runs, especially the one at the end of the game. If you could talk about overall the defense you guys had, the stops, and Al's role in that.
I thought our defense was really good. Bogdanovich hit a couple of incredible shots. Wesley Matthews hit a tough shot fading away off of a kick out that I thought was a high pass where he had to jump for it, land, and shoot it. That's hard. But I thought our defense in the last 5 minutes was excellent, and then certainly in the last few possessions, because we had a couple empty possessions before that when they were up 2, came back down and got stops and kept playing. But Al was great in the paint for us, both protecting the rim on some of those drives, guarding in isolation at the top of the key, and then rebounding.
Final 2 questions. John, please.
John Corrales, MassLive.com. Miles Turner was
really
dominant in the third quarter.
Sure was.
But then you guys made a run in the fourth without him there. Can you just speak a little bit to the defensive presence, the way?
Fantastic. Yeah, he played fantastic. He protected the rim at the rim, and he guarded drives. I thought that I said this before. They've really hung their hat on not being a switching team, and they've switched a ton in the first 2 games. Probably in response a little bit to the last couple of regular season games, and they've really made it tough. And you can only do that if your bigs can really move and can catch up to plays. And Miles caught up to a lot of plays. And we looked a little bit like Milwaukee last year, where we forced some tough shots off 1 foot headed to the rim against him. And if he blocks it and it gets out, it's problems on the other end. Those are quick swing baskets for the other team. So you got to be really good with your rim decisions when he's around.
Hey, Brad. Bill Burt, CNHI. Down 11 going into the fourth quarter. Wasn't really a great performance by you guys up until then. Very good by Indiana. What happened? What was the difference?
Very good by Indiana. Yeah, first of all, I think, again, we can talk about us, and we struggled at times, but Indiana played physical. They played tough. They gave us a heck of a shot. Scored 20 in the first 6 minutes of the first and third. They set the tone for both halves. They were just really good, and we had to just battle. And I credit our guys. I felt like in the end of the first, we were flying off screens, guarding them, and we still weren't getting stops. And that was a little nerve-wracking, to be honest. But we've been through enough of these games where 12 points isn't that much, and you just play again, hit singles, play the next possession, and make it as tough as possible. It's a hard game, and they were terrific tonight, and we were just good enough to get by.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thad Young will be first of the players to go for the Pacers. Questions for Thad, please?
I mean, Thad, I know we've went over this topic during the season when you guys had trouble closing games towards the end, that last 2 minutes. Is that what was the issue tonight? 'Cause it seems like you guys did a lot of other things well, particularly defensively, how y'all mixed stuff up, but that final 2 minutes couldn't get anything, couldn't get the clean looks that Boston got at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been one quarter that kills us. You know, in the second half, it's either the third or the fourth quarter. Last game, it was the third quarter. As you can see, tonight it was the fourth. We only scored 12 points, and they scored 31. So it's always tough. I mean, you know, we're getting good looks, and shots are not falling. They're picking up their defense in the fourth, and you know, we're playing as hard as we could, and we're doing the same things that we've been doing. But the biggest thing is we just gotta, like I've always said, just put together a 48-minute game. We haven't been able to do that.
What you speak to what Boston did late, some of the things Stevens adjustments he made on the fly to kind of catch you guys off guard to get some of those looks where they were able to, you know, close out the game?
They put the ball in Kyrie's hands. As you can see, he had 37 tonight. When they put the ball in that guy's hands, and you know, he makes things happen. He made some tough shots. I think that was pretty much.
In the beginning of the fourth, without him, what were the defensive challenges that you guys were facing when Boston was making the run?
Not having a shot block at the rim is one of the biggest things. That's what most people in this league they want. They want shot blockers. They want guys who can go out there and erase shots like Miles. And but we can't play him a whole game. We have to give him some type of rest. And during the time where he was resting, they were taking advantage of it and driving the ball to the just moving the ball, spacing us out.
Bob Schramm, the Citizen. Thad, in this game, the group played so much better. I mean, Boyan, yourself, Miles. How do you regroup? Because it was a game that you had, and then it got away, then you got it back again. What's the mindset? It's
just simple. I mean, just putting together a 48-minute contest. If we can figure out a way to just put together 4 good quarters, obviously we'll put ourselves in a better position to win the game, and we're probably going to win the game. But it's just one of those quarters that really kills us. If we can, cut down, 10 of those points, it puts us in a better position. So, biggest thing is just staying the course, continue to just play with confidence, and continue to believe. I think that's one of the biggest things. We've always been a confident team. We still are confident, and we're going to continue to be confident. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to go out there and try to, take care of their home court, and now we have to go back to Indiana and take care of our home court.
That is Bill Burt, CNHI Sports Boston. For the most part, it was Kyrie and everyone else was okay. But then Tatum got going. And I think that's probably a concern with the Celtics because they got a couple other guys, a couple of wingmen. Can you talk about how tough they are when they do get another 1 or 2 guys going like that?
They're very tough. I mean, they're a team full of scorers. They have a lot of guys that can score the ball. It's not just Kyrie and Tatum. Anybody can get it going on any given night. And I think that's one of the things that makes them a tough team to guard, one of the tougher teams in the league to play against. But at the end of the day, we got to continue to play ourselves. As the Indiana Pacers, we take pride in playing defense. That's why we were one of the best teams defensively, and we have to take the challenge and continue to go out there and compete each and every night.
Last question, Thad, front row.
Thad, Mike Petralio, CLNS Media here in Boston. How close do you feel you guys are to breaking through in this series?
Like I said, it's just one quarter that kicks our butt. If we can erase that one quarter or just take away 10 of those points out of each of those quarters, we put ourselves in a better position to win the game and potentially win. So, if we can, like I said, put together a 48-minute contest, that's what I've been harping on. If we can put that together, then that puts us in a way better position to win games.
Thank you, Thad.
Yep, no problem.
Questions for Kyrie, please.
Kyrie, Mark James, NESN Boston. What was it about tonight? You and Jason Tatum together, 63 points combined. You guys stepped up next level. Was it something that was it the crowd or just something they weren't doing on defense? You guys, what did you bring to the table tonight?
I mean, I think we did enough to win, and they did enough to win as well in certain instances of the game. We made some big-time plays on the defensive end, getting defensive rebounds, making them miss, and just staying aggressive and staying poised down the stretch. I think we utilized some of our go-to plays down the stretch, who we wanted to attack, and we executed very well where guys were not necessarily dependent on taking those mid-range shots, but attacking the basket and trying to make plays within the play. And it worked well for us tonight. JT made some shots, and I made some shots as well, so we paced ourselves pretty well. But the object of the game is to outscore the other team, and I was trying to put as many points on the board as I could in that third quarter just to sustain something for us. We didn't start off as well as we would have liked, but that happens sometimes, and got to be able to weather the storm, and I think we did a great job of that tonight. Everyone involved wasn't about just putting points on the board. It was just about doing the little things, and it was a gritty win. And we understand the team that we're playing against, veteran team. So we got to stay locked in, and I think we did a great job of that.
Kyrie, Adam Himmelsbach with the Boston Globe. You kind of carried things mostly through the first three quarters. Start of that fourth, you're down 12. When you come back in, they cut it to 4. What does that do for you when you kind of see the guys slice into the deficit like that, and then you're coming refreshed, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point game, and you can kind of get to work?
That's what we need. That's what we need. That's being able to manage the game very well, where guys are going out and they're making plays for each other. We picked up our pressure on the ball handlers, picked up our pressure on the pick and rolls, and we got stops, and we got on transition, did, like I said, the little things. That's what's going to get you wins in these playoffs. Is not so much about the talent, not so much about always executing the right way. It's just about doing the little things in the time when it's needed in the game, and I think that we did that. So we just got to stay consistent with that. But, there are definitely some mistakes that we can get better at, things we can improve on going into Game 3 at their place.
John Corrales, MassLive.com. When a guy like Miles Turner, who's been blocking a ton of shots, goes off the floor at the beginning of the fourth quarter, can you describe what it's like as an offensive player who likes to drive to see a shot blocker like that leave?
My eyes light up, as they should. It's only right because of how much respect that I have for Miles as a shot blocker and what he's been able to do in the regular season and now in the playoffs. He was making me miss at the rim, and that's what you want to do as a shot blocker. If you can't get a hand on it, he's coming over every single time, and there were a few plays where I'm getting to the rim and I'm wondering where Miles is coming over, and he just makes me miss. And when he goes out and you see that kind of the momentum is shifting, you just want to put him in positions to bring him away from the basket, and I think we did that a few plays down the stretch in the fourth quarter where he has to be aware of Al at the top of the key, Al circling, Al doing the little things as well. So just occupy him and bring him away from the basket as much as possible. But a lot of respect for Miles, man. So.
Chris?
Chris Gasper, Boston Globe. Kyrie, we've seen you have the type of game you had tonight against the Celtics. What was it like to have that type of game for the Boston Celtics?
It's pretty peaceful. I think that, I'm just happy to be able to be part of a lineage of great players that have put on some unbelievable performances, here in the TD as well as in the Old Garden. And, it's really special to know that, the fans here, they're rooting us on, and, they want everything to be perfect. And, it's just not the reality of the game, but we do our best to go out there and really lay it all on the line. And, we throw ourselves into the game, and we hope for some great results. So just got to have some just honest resolve, but, it felt good. It felt good to be here in this position, playing in this arena. It's just been a long journey from having those 2 knee surgeries and watching the team last year and finally getting a chance to lace them up for the Boston Celtics in the NBA playoffs. It's nothing like it.
Final 2 questions.
Joseph Pavone, WEI.com, CLNS Media. Kyrie Irving, just talk about the progression you've seen from this team in terms of late game execution. You saw it done on both ends of the floor tonight against the Pacers. Just speak about that and what you've seen throughout the past few months up until now.
Well, there's a different energy in the building when we step in, because we know that we got to do everything it takes to win, and you know, it's just so much you don't have to worry about anymore. You know, distract yourself for. You know, when I say that, give me an example. Just to, I always revert back to just, you don't have to score a bunch of points to make an impact on the game, and you know, we have a lot of talented players, and now we're in the postseason, and we got to do the little things, screen for each other, make sure we're very communicative on the defensive end, make sure we're there, and you know, that's what's going to get you to the next level. But we've shown that, and these guys on this team have shown that they can win at home, and we've shown it as well. And now it's about going on the road and doing the same thing and playing with an intensity that's needed to get a big-time win on the road. So that's where the big test comes. You know, here we got our families, we got everybody here supporting us, rooting us on, and now when we go into Indiana, now it's the total opposite, where, you know, it's just us in the trenches, where, you know, we're out there and we really got to focus in. So I'm looking forward to that challenge for us, and then I'll probably have a better answer for you. You know, at home is a little bit easier, and we battled back. We did some great things, but now it's about going on the road and really showing, you know, who we are as a team on the road in the playoffs.
Kyrie, right behind him, Mark D'Amico, Celtics.com. When you checked in with about 7.5 left, it looked like Terry thought that you were coming in for him, and you were like, no, you're staying out here. And Brad just said that he wanted to leave him out there for his defensive pressure, picking up full court. We know that that obviously takes time off the clock, but what's it do for the other 4 guys on the court when you see a guy giving that type of effort, making that type of defensive impact full court?
It's great. It's great. He's throwing himself into the game. You know, he's really, really locked into the tendency on the other point guard or whoever he's guarding. He's always communicating. He's always having that high energy, you know, whether it's for 3 minutes or whether it's for 8 minutes. I'm glad he stayed out there and Brad made that decision. It takes pressure off of me having to bring the ball up and, you know, be the ball handler every single play down. And that's a trust that we've built over time and, you know, over the season. And, you know, he's a special player. And we want him to go out there and be who he is. But to see him throw himself into the game the way he has these last 2 games, it's been very impressive. It just shows a sense of maturity. And, you know, I just love that the sacrifice that we're all making on this team is showing that it's well worth it. So, like I said, this was great 2 wins at home. Now it's time to go on the road. So I'm looking forward to that challenge with my brothers.
Thank you, Kyrie.
Yep.
Jason Tatum will be the final player coming in shortly. Both Mr. Tatums will be joining us. Questions for Jason, please? Mark?
Jason, Mark James Ness in Boston. What is it? Last year, you were a rookie in the playoffs. You stepped up the next level. Tonight seemed to be a continuation of that. So what is it about the playoffs that gets your game to go to that next level?
Yeah, I just get really excited. You know, it's the best time of the year, you know, for basketball. And it's the most important time of the year. So, you know, you got to try to be your best, be aggressive, you know, because every game really counts.
Sherrod Blakely, NBC Sports Boston. Jason, could you take us through just your play in the 4th quarter? And specifically, you know, you missed the one shot, and then you came right back and you hit a shot from the other corner. And just that whole sequence in the 4th quarter where you were making an impact.
Yeah, I think, you know, what was really important, you know, it was JB's pass. You know, for him coming down the court, you could easily, you know, shot the layup or, you know, try to get fouled. But, you know, that was a hell of a pass by JB, so I'm going to have to knock it down. And, you know, when Kai threw it late and I attacked the basket, you know, Gordon made a great cut. You know, we were just all on the same page, you know, towards the end. and you know, we were making great plays, sharing the ball, getting stops.
John Corrales, MassLive.com. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, you had that dunk when Miles was off the floor. What's it like knowing that the lane is open when a shot blocker like him has left the floor?
Yeah, he's a great shot blocker. You know, so you know, he does a great job of, you know, reading when, you know, timing the ball up. He blocked a couple shots tonight, a couple of mine. So when you get up there, you gotta, you know, try to dunk it or, you know, look to kick it out.
Sherrod Blakely, NBC Sports Boston, one more time. Jason, what does a game like this do for you? I mean, we've seen you have big games before, but big game, clutch shots down the stretch, on the floor with Kyrie, and you were still able to kind of stand out for your play. What does a game like this mean for you and for this Celtics team going forward?
It's big. You know, we knew Game 2 was all about adjustments. We knew that they were going to come out, play a lot better, and they did. And you know, we were down 12 going into the fourth, and but you know, in the playoffs, you know, you don't, you know, win quick or lose quickly. It's a long game, and you know, we needed everybody out there.
Final question, Taylor.
Taylor Snow, Celtics.com. Feeding off of Sherrod's question, you had a lot of big games like this in the playoffs last year, but big difference was Kyrie wasn't out there with you. So how does he make things even easier on you, especially down the stretch?
You know, he draws a lot of attention. You know, he does some. He's special. He does some really amazing things out there, and it's good for us. You know, having him as a leader and somebody that's been here and done it before. And you know, we're just looking forward to the next game.
Thank you, Jason.
We out.
Deuce. Both Smith and Tatum's. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.